Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about the NGS headline because it just ended and there's a lot of stuff to cover. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So first things first, and that is I want to talk about all the content that we're getting in May 1st, and then we'll talk about the Ultra Evolution update. So in May, we are getting part 2 of the NGS 2nd anniversary event, so the exchange shop will be updated. Now something to take note of is on May 10th, when the event shop gets updated, you will be able to purchase the 2 other Defi capsules from the exchange shop. So that is the Plutos as well as the Makames. That is the one that gives you critical chance as well as floor potency. You will be able to purchase 10 of each capsule. So if you're really tempted in buying all of those crazy expensive capsules on the market, please just hold off. I know it's 2 weeks from now, but it's gonna pay off significantly. It's gonna make your life so much easier. You're just gonna get them from the exchange shop. You're gonna augment it because it's a 90% success rate. Pop a 10% booster, 100%, no gambling involved, and boom, your armors are gonna be set. And then you're gonna have a much easier time on the dual quest if that's something that you want to do. Now, another thing that is also coming on May 10th is gonna be the 24-player limited time quest, A Waistline Interception. This is where you're gonna be able to get even more Defi capsules if that's something that you want. However, on top of that, you will also be able to get your Photon chunks 2A and 2B, but there is a limited time task where if you farm 1 million seasonal points, they literally give you 30 of each one. So they'll give you 30 Photon chunks 2A as well as 30 Photon chunks 2B. So it's going to make your life super easy because remember, our Neo A weapons need 60 in total. So you'll be able to get half of that amount simply by farming 1 million seasonal points. However, keep in mind that the seasonal points is not retroactive. So that means if you farm 1 million seasonal points like today or this week, and when this limited time quest rolls around, it will not count all of the seasonal points that you farmed before. So you need to wait for the limited time task to actually become available before you go crazy and farm your 1 million seasonal points. Now, of course, when this limited time quest kicks in, I will make a video on how to farm your points most efficiently and quickly as possible. It's either going to be one of two answers: Retem Al Noth with a point booster, or it's going to be through the limited time quest because there might be a campaign that increases your point gain from that. It's going to be one of those two answers, but I'll test it and let you guys know which method is the most efficient so that you can save some time. The next thing I want to talk about is the Revival AC Scratch Ticket 2nd Anniversary Thankful. So this is a very unique AC Scratch. Usually I don't cover AC Scratches till the very end of the video because I know everyone's just like, oh, you know, cash grab, they want us to spend money. But this AC Scratch is very unique in the sense that we actually get 54 tickets for free. Yes, we're getting 54 AC Scratch tickets for free, and all of the items that we obtain from these AC Scratch items act as AC Scratch items. So that means you can actually exchange these items for AC recycle badges and use that currency to purchase AC exclusive items if that is something that you want. But there is a catch to this 2nd Anniversary Thankful AC Scratch, and that is you need to log in every single day starting from May 10th, and you need to do your dailies. You get 2 tickets every single day. However, the first ticket you get by simply logging in, and the second ticket is earned by completing all of your dailies. So you are incentivized to play the game every single day, but this reward is really worth it because this AC Scratch has a lot of very popular items that were only available in the base game. So for all of my NGS only players, this is a very good time to be able to obtain some of these really rare items that are costing billions of Meseta on the base game because of crazy inflation. And don't forget, since these items act as AC items, you can always throw them onto the player market if you don't want it and sell it for Meseta. Now, while we're on the topic of that AC Scratch, the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, the SG Scratch. We are getting another refined form SG Scratch. Now, this is not replacing our current SG Scratch, so the Slashing Slayer SG Scratch is still going to remain. This is an additional SG Scratch banner, simply called Refined for May 2023. And again, this SG Scratch is offering a lot of older items that people may have missed in previous SG Scratches. So if you want, like, for example, Nadare's hair, you do have a chance to pick that up again. But on top of of that, they have added a couple new bonus items such as the Arc's Blazer in NGS format. This used to be only obtainable in the base game, so it was a base PSO2 format, but they've upgraded it into NGS spec, so if you do want the Blazer, you can pick it up through this SG scratch. But now back to the content. On May 24th, we are getting the new limited time quest Dazzling Chaos Suppression Operation 2023. We actually got this last year. It was called Dazzling Chaos Suppression Operation 2022, and basically it's the exact same thing. However, when we had it last year, we only had Alio as well as Retem. Now all 4 regions are available, so there's going to be more mobs to fight, and again, there's going to be a bunch of limited time tasks tied to this. Now, the special thing about the Dazzling Chaos Suppression was at the very end of the urgent quest, you had a chance of a captain spawning. So when this limited time quest becomes available, I'm going to be testing the spawn rate of the captain. Last time, I believe it was like 1 in every 10 runs. I'm assuming they're not going to change that. However, something that I do expect them to change is the drop rate. Maybe we might be able to farm for Mastery 4s. It might have a low drop rate of dropping that. Who knows? I'm going to be testing it out because I want to know. And last but not least is a whole bunch of AC scratches. This includes the Designer Dreams May 2023, which is actually taken from the 10th anniversary item design contest. So a lot of the outfits, the cast parts, as well as the accessories were designed by the player base, and we're finally seeing them in NGS. It took them a while, but at least it's now available. But the scratch that has perked my interest is Soul of the Wild. This one is for all of my furry friends out there. You know, there's a lot of furry in this, and the one that I actually really want is emote I'm a cat. So we have an emote already currently in the game which allows us to transform into a tuna. But this is an emote that allows us to transform into a cat, and it literally looks like one of the cats that you can see in Central City. So that cat is actually my favorite cat out of all the cats, so I'm definitely picking up this emote. And on top of that, you actually have a ton of different poses to choose from, so that's a win-win-win in my books. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for this scratch. And last but not least, there will be an NGS character election through Twitter, so you can vote on who your favorite character is from the story, and whoever wins will get an in-game item modeled after them. I'm already calling it. Nadare is probably going to win. If Nadare doesn't win, it's going to be Kanui. I'm pretty sure those are probably the top contenders. Manon and Aina maybe, but I think Nadare is pretty much a fan favorite at the moment since, you know, she has a concert and everything. So that's what I think at least. But that concludes everything that we're getting in May. Now it is time to talk about the Ultra Evolution update, or the content that we're getting in June. So the very first thing I want to talk about is we got a very special video from the series producer Yuya Kimura. And Yuya Kimura is extremely blunt and very straight to the point, and I love it. It's freaking amazing. He straight up admits that there wasn't enough content in NGS, and they faced a lot of technical difficulties as well as design difficulties because they were so intent of linking the base game with NGS. And that was one of the main issues on why they experienced so many bugs and why they had so many problems, which slowed down the development for new content. And then on top of that, because they were working with the new engine, they were inexperienced, so there was a lot of time wasted with trial and error and learning how the system actually works. And now with the Ultra Evolution update, or what they're calling NGS version 2, hopefully things are going to be a lot more smoother, and we're going to have a more consistent pace of content releases starting with version 2. Now he spends a lot of time talking about the creative spaces as well as all the B-roll that you're currently seeing about the creative spaces. And to be frank with you guys, I was not expecting the creative spaces to be this in-depth. They pretty much are going to be releasing a level creator for everyone, which is really crazy because of how in-depth you can go with this. You can program certain actions to do different things in the game. So essentially you can make your own dungeons or parkour fields or whatever you want. And from what I can see from the B-roll, it's actually very user friendly. So I can definitely see why the creative spaces is such a big deal. And I do hope that a lot of people are excited for it and are willing to try it out. And on top of that, in the operation report, they actually answered the biggest question that everyone was asking, and that was like, okay, the creative spaces are cool, but where am I going to be getting all of the different furniture pieces, as well as the walls, the doors, the buttons, all of that? Is this going to be locked behind a paywall? And they straight up told us that the majority of the items are going to be obtainable in-game through a new currency called Genesis Coins, which you're going to be able to obtain by simply completing your dailies and your weeklies and specific tasks linked with the creative spaces. So you're going to be able to passively earn a bunch of this currency. You're going to be able to buy different furniture so that you can create whatever you want in the creative spaces. Remember, you've got personal quarters and you've also got the alliance quarters, but on top of that, there's also going to be furniture available through the SG Scratch, and when they do collaborations, those collaboration items are going to be available in the AC Scratch. So it's nice to see that they're not going to paywall everyone from creative spaces, that hey, you can still use the creative spaces, it's only if you want the collaboration items. You know, maybe they do one with like the HoloLive or with Niji Sanji again. If you want stuff from them, then you need to spend AC, but they did state that you can sell all of these items on the player market. So just like all the regular AC Scratches, you're still going to be able to spend your meseta in order to buy all of these cosmetic items and remain free to play. But now for the real bomb that they dropped that nobody was expecting, and that is cell shading. Yes, they are adding cell shading into the game for your character. Now, it's not going to turn the entire environment into cell shading, but it'll use cell shading to turn your characters into a more anime style or more hand-drawn style. For those who don't know what cell shading is, you can watch on the B-roll right now. This is literally what cell shading is. It's a type of art style that looks very anime, and it's crazy that they've managed to add this into the NGS engine through a toggle switch. So most games, it's either it's normal graphics or it's cell shading, and maybe if you need to switch, you kind of need to restart your game. In this, you don't. It's literally a switch. You just turn it on and boom, you're cell shaded. You turn it off, boom, you go back to normal. It's kind of crazy how they did this. And on top of that, when you go to the salon, you can actually go to cell shading settings, and for the outline emphasis and shadow density, you can customize that. This is the first time I've ever seen a game add cell shading that is a toggle on-off switch, and you can also change your outline emphasis and shadow density to make your character look even more anime or pop out from the background if you want that type of effect. And it's just kind of crazy to me that they're adding all of this, and it was just radio silence. Nobody knew this was coming, and just boom, this was this bomb that they added. There's like, yeah, you know, here you go. It's a free function for everyone to enjoy. And I love it. I am definitely going to be taking advantage of cell shading. I'm a huge fan of this art style, so this was a very pleasant surprise for me. And then last but not least, they do show off some new enemy types that look really badass. The enemies are starting to look more and more scary-ish, so that is pretty nice to see. But unfortunately, they didn't give us a hint of the story or anything. They just said that, hey, when the June update comes, we are getting new story, but they didn't give us any other hint other than these new enemies that we can see. But the backgrounds that they showcase the enemies in is still in Planet Halpha, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Now, this time's Operation Report is actually worth talking about because Hiro Arai actually picked some really good questions. The first question was the item catalog page, if it's coming back or not, and yes, it's coming back. So for those who don't know what the item catalog is, it's literally a list or a database of all the different items available in the game. So let's say that you're going for a Japanese kimono type of look, but you don't know the exact names of all of these outfits. You can go to the item catalog, which was on their official page, and boom, you can just look up for all the different outfits. You can find the kimono outfits that you liked, and you can find the exact name so you can look it up in the player shop. They had this before, they took it away, I don't know why, and now they're bringing it back, but there's no official date on when it's coming back. But you know, when it does come back, I will make a video just telling you guys and probably do a little walkthrough so that you guys know how to navigate through it. But it's really nice that they're finally bringing it back. But more importantly, they finally addressed the bulge in your waist area. For those who are fashionistas out there, especially a lot of my Ship 3 friends out there, you know when you create a larger character, you know, maybe extra thick with 3 C's, the waist area is really difficult to work with, especially if you want your character to wear a dress. There's always this bulge because it's like anti-gravity or something, and then it just doesn't look very nice on your character. Well, the development team has acknowledged that this is an issue and they're working on it. So yeah, we don't have an ETA on when this will be fixed, but the dev team is working on it, and that's all I need to know. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!